So I'm seeing universal acclaim for this one all over the internet. After watching it though, this just might be one of the most polarizing and enigmatic films of the entire year. Because I still don't quite know what I just watched, everyone. Guys, my name is Zack, and I love talking cinema and all things entertainment, and welcome to yet another brand new movie review. And as always, guys, I really do appreciate you stopping by. I hope you enjoy your stay, because today's topic should be pretty interesting. We're looking at The Green Knight this time around. This is the brand new A24 medieval fantasy based off of this epic poem from like the 14th century or something. It was adapted for the screen and directed by David Lowery, who I think is one of the most interesting filmmakers working right now. And this also stars Dev Patel as our lead here, and he's kind of your Shakespearean anti-hero, except he's not Shakespearean. King Arthur's headstrong nephew, played by Patel, embarks on a daring quest to confront the Green Knight, a mysterious giant who appears one day at Camelot. Risking his head, he sets off on an epic adventure to prove himself before his family and his court. So A24, guys, this is a studio that hardly ever misses. Their films are usually acquired taste, and I found myself really digging some of their films like Hereditary, Uncut Gems, Minari also. Like, I love all of those films. But then there's other instances where their films will just be confusing and utterly boring pieces of shit. Yeah. Boring. But I am huge into these medieval fantasy worlds with castles and knights and all that. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and Game of Thrones also. Just judging from my binge currently, I love this era, and I love this setting for a story. And if there's one positive certainty about The Green Knight, this medieval world building is utterly outstanding. The technical prowess behind this film, all the work that went into this is astounding to me. The cinematography, quite simply, is incredible. I am begging someone at the Academy to nominate Andrew Draws Palermo for Best Cinematography right now. And on that note, I also think that David Lowery should be considered for Best Director. I know it's only the end of July, so just take this with a grain of salt, but this film technically is marvelous. David Lowery's direction here is just something else. You get some big, gorgeous wide shots here. The color palette also, this green tinted terrain, it really does feel like you're in this world. You also get some really long takes of Dev Patel riding around on his horse contemplating his destiny. It's filmmaking magic, guys. Everything, the production design, the costume design, this eerie choir for a score. This film really does make you feel like you're in this time period. It is technically fan-freaking-tastic. Speaking of, this cast is also phenomenal across the board. Alicia Vikander works wonders as this love interest type character for our lead, but there's one monologue that she has that is so unbelievably riveting. She was really captivating to watch and learn more about. And Joel Edgerton, who I had no idea was in this film going in, he does some pretty fine work as well. Despite some true WTF moments involving his character that I dare not give away here. But let's just say, I think you guys will know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. It just comes so out of left field. And no, it still does not make any f***ing sense. But this all does center around Sir Gawain, doesn't it? Who's going on this journey. Luckily, this role was put into the hands of a more than capable actor. Let me just say for the record that Dev Patel might have turned in one of the best performances of his entire career. And this is a guy who's turned in great performances in Oscar winners of the past like Slumdog Millionaire, Lion. This character has got some fascinating layers to him. And Dev Patel is magnificent in portraying this character's arc from beginning to end. This is an extremely weather-beaten individual, and he is getting his ass handed to him, literally and proverbially speaking. Which does lead me into my problems with The Green Knight. Let's just say that I've seen a couple of reviews on here already, and I'm not gonna name names, you guys know who you are, but some of you are saying that The Green Knight is a masterpiece, and I really do respect your guys' opinions. I'm really stoked that you guys loved this film, but I'm not one to use the term masterpiece loosely. I personally didn't think so. If you ask me, as a matter of fact, I think this movie's kind of overrated. Okay, hold on. Keep an open mind. As I've said, this movie is technically speaking outstanding, but this is nowhere near top tier A24 level of filmmaking like a Hereditary or a Minari. And that's first of all because, okay, even though I just praised the Dev Patel and his performance, whoo boy was this character hard to get behind. I respected the journey that this character took along the way, but I found no redeeming qualities about him. The film tries to establish some of these traits for him, but like, I wasn't taking the bait. And this is just to give you guys an example, so just a mild spoiler warning up ahead. There's a point in the film where Dev Patel's character is led into a mugging by a trio of ruffians. And watching this in the theater, at that point, I found myself legitimately just not caring about this character's destiny. Like, seriously, it was such a strange feeling. I legit did not care what happened to him in that moment. Like, really? Now, I did liken this film to Shakespeare earlier, so why the f not? Bonus Elizabethan theater lesson for y'all. Let's use the play Richard III for proof of this point that I'm about to make. In case you've never read Richard III, this is a dark, dark play in the Bard's canon. The Duke of Gloucester, later becoming Richard III, similar to Sir Gawain in this film, is quite the head. The Duke of Gloucester is sincerely a repulsive, disgusting excuse for a human being, an absolute monster. But Shakespeare at least writes this character in a way that we can still get invested in what's gonna happen to him. Sir Gawain, on the other hand, I didn't really care what was going to happen to him until around the turn of the third act, which is too little too late at this point in an epic. And that all brings me to my biggest issue with this film, and I feel like this is a consensus: the pacing. Dear Lord, you've heard, I'm sure some of you have heard these criticisms already, and yes, I can confirm for a fact, The Green Knight is extremely slow. It sits there at 2 hours and 12 minutes, but I felt like I was sitting in that theater for at least 4 hours. Like, holy shit, this went long. I realize some of this may be to build tension in some of these scenes, which are fantastically acted. Again, no qualms here. But I feel like you could have very easily trimmed down this runtime, and it would have helped this pacing, once again, extremely considerably. Yeah, this film is for sure gonna be for an acquired taste for an audience. And again, if you love this film, fantastic. I'm not trying to detract you from that. This is all subjective discussion after all. That's why we do this. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna give The Green Knight a B. Yes, I'm aware some of you might think that grade's way too low for this film, but I clearly don't hate this movie. Like I said, technically it's very good. David Lowery's done it again. The acting is phenomenal. Don't think I'll ever see myself rewatching this one again. I'm fascinated to at least give this another chance down the line, but it's not something I'm gonna want to pop in on repeated viewings, if you get me there. Regardless of what your thoughts are, I think The Green Knight is going to be an extremely polarizing movie for years to come. Mainly about this ending, which, believe it or not, I kind of enjoyed. Call me crazy all you want. I found this to be a very poignant ending, all things considered. And all at the same time, this ending is quite the acid trip. It was absolutely bananas. But this film is certainly gonna warrant some discussion. Let me know what you thought of The Green Knight down in the comments section below. Do you agree with me? Did you hate this film somehow? And also, feel free to let me know what your favorite medieval fantasy is, like a Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. But if these topics sound appealing to you and you guys want to continue discussing them along with me, then do consider hitting that big red subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. That way you guys can stay up to date with all of my future content coming out from this point forward. And it's also free. And be sure to leave a thumbs up on your way out. That really helps me get this content out there. And as always, guys, look out for more exciting content hitting this channel very soon. That does include my review next weekend for The Suicide Squad, which I cannot wait. I'm hearing that's James Gunn's masterpiece. That remains to be seen on my end. But guys, I really do appreciate you stopping by once again. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.